Porpoising has been a problem in Formula 1 since the start of the new regulations. Slowly but surely, more and more teams seem to get the bouncing of the cars under control, although sometimes at the expense of performance. During the race in Baku, we saw among other things how Mercedes made enormous bounces on the long straights, and after Lewis Hamilton stepped out of his car visibly shaken, the discussion about porpoising rekindled within the paddock. Should the FIA intervene, or is it up to the teams themselves? A difficult dilemma, as teams like Red Bull Racing had done their homework well and seem to have the bounce under control. Nevertheless, the FIA has entered into a conclave about the problem and has decided to intervene after all. The FIA says in a statement that it'll take steps for safety reasons to offer more protection to the drivers who risk their lives every week in the Premier class. They've done so following consultations with doctors and in response to feedback received from drivers during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. According to the FIA, it is necessary to intervene to make the necessary changes to reduce or eliminate the phenomenon of porpoising. The FIA has immediately acted on the word and issued a technical guideline that guides the teams on the measures the FIA plans to take to tackle the problem of porpoising. In the statement, the FIA further elaborates on what these guidelines mean. Among other things, this involves further investigation of the planks and skids. The design and wear are also considered. The explanation of the metric based on the vertical acceleration of the car must also be considered. That final result should in turn ensure an acceptable level of vertical vibration. The exact formula of this is still being analyzed by the FIA. In addition to these short-term measures, the FIA is holding a technical meeting with the teams to devise measures to prevent the porpoising phenomenon in the future. In a sport where the participant is driving at speeds of 300 km per hour and faster, it's important that all the drivers' focus goes there. A loss of concentration due to exhaustion or pain can have significant consequences, concerns about the immediate physical impact and health of the drivers, some of whom have repeatedly complained of back problems as a result of recent events, the FIA said in a statement. Such a formula means bad news for teams that suffer a lot from the bounce problem. Among the top teams, this is mainly Mercedes and Ferrari because Red Bull is not bothered by it much. If less hard/often bounces are allowed during a session, then measures have to be taken, which is at the expense of the race pace. The easiest solution to prevent porpoising is to increase the ride height of the car. As a result, the car is less close to the asphalt and the problem occurs less quickly, and as a result, the floor of the car touches the ground less quickly. The FIA has already announced to look at the plank under the floor, which wears over the track at high speed. Increasing the ride height has a direct impact on the ground effect of the F1 cars. This means that there's less downforce and therefore less grip, which logically increases the lap times, so teams that bounce the hardest and most often may have a problem in the short term. However, the exact measures are not yet known, so it is possible that Ferrari and Mercedes also fall within the margins of, for example, the new formula. If it becomes a problem for the teams, at least it'll be a bigger problem for the teams with bouncing problems. Red Bull will be less affected by it, given that they hardly suffer from porpoising. So from the Canadian Grand Prix, new measures will apply to prevent porpoising. The FIA will require teams to take action if bouncing is too much of a problem. If there's no action, a driver may be disqualified for safety reasons. It may be a problem at Mercedes this weekend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button to not miss any F1 news.